Hello and welcome to Samdan's Couch. Today I'm going to take a look at the official Valve Steam Deck dock. After a long delay, it has been finally released and it comes along with an SteamOS update version 3.3.2 that it delivers more options for digital video output. And that's not only for the Valve dock, but also for any other third-party dock as well. I'm also going to compare the official dock to my JSAUX HB0603 dock that I have reviewed on this channel as well. This is the box the Valve dock comes in. This time there are no funny Easter eggs from the Portal games, like the original box from the Steam Deck featured. The Valve Steam Deck dock is priced at $89, which makes it not the cheapest dock you can get for your deck. But you have to keep in mind that the Valve dock actually comes with a second charger. With other docks, like the JSAUX, you either need to buy an additional charger or you have to use the one that came with the Steam Deck. And since the dock is usually set up stationary, having an extra charger that can stay plugged in where the dock is definitely handy. The Valve dock comes with 3 USB 3.1 ports, an Gigabit Ethernet connection, an HDMI 2.0 and a DisplayPort 1.4 output with FreeSync support. You can actually hook up 2 monitors or 1 TV and 1 additional monitor to the Steam Deck, which is pretty cool. Support for 4K at 60Hz or 1440p at 120Hz is available. Compared to my JSAUX HB0603, it has the advantage of having the additional DisplayPort and that the Ethernet port comes out the back instead of the side. By the way, the speed of the USB ports of both docks are the same, even though you might think USB 3.1 compared to USB 3.0 is faster. It is the same thing, thanks to the confusing naming of the USB standards. You could get the new HB0702 dock from JSAUX that also has a DisplayPort, but it costs around $60 and doesn't come with an extra charger. The Valve dock bottom is completely covered in a rubber material, which is going to help that the dock doesn't slide all over the place when you plug in your deck. The JSAUX dock has only 4 rubber feet on each side of the bottom. The JSAUX dock shell is made with a nice sturdy aluminum alloy, while the Steam Deck is made straight out of plastic. Very hefty though, has a nice weight to it and it doesn't feel cheap. Comparing both docks on a scale actually puts both docks at the weight of 131 grams. I didn't think the docks would weigh the same, but there you go. Now what really makes the Valve dock interesting for me is that the dock's firmware can be updated. Valve promises that every dock, no matter what brand, will continue to be supported. But having extra firmware updates to the dock itself might be an extra advantage for future developments that third-party docks can't be updated to. The firmware update for the dock took around 2 minutes and 40 seconds. My firmware in this test has the version number 0.13.15.106. I had a little bit trouble in the beginning connecting my LG OLED TV to the dock. For some reason, the dock didn't want to connect to my TV when I plugged in the HDMI, while I had already had the power adapter plugged in. What solved this problem was to plug in the HDMI cable first and then connect the power adapter. Something to keep in mind. But since you have the extra power adapter, you might as well leave the dock plugged in at all times anyway. Thanks to the new SteamOS firmware, version 3.3.2, you can now select the output resolution and the refresh rate independently from the actual game within the Steam Deck settings. A wide range of resolutions are shown. I have my 4K TV connected. Running most games at 4K is of course not ideal, so you can set it to something more reasonable, like 1080p. If you want to force a specific game to a specific resolution and refresh rate, you can do this now under the properties of your game and directly select the game resolution for this title. I'm still having issues that I get no audio at first when I connect my deck through my surround receiver to my TV, as I mentioned in my previous JSAUX dock review video. I have to manually go into the desktop mode to switch audio to HD Audio Generic Pro 8, and the video output is also a little on the dark side, when running HDMI through my Onkyo. So the best solution right now is to connect your HDMI dock to your display directly and use sound through ARC, audio return channel, coming from the TV to your receiver. Don't forget to put your TV in game mode to avoid any kind of lag. Now let's get to the fun stuff, gameplay demos. My first game is Fall Guys. The game itself being such a drag performance-wise on the Nintendo Switch, it is so much fun seeing the game run smoothly on the go, and thanks to the HDMI dock I can play the same smooth experience on my TV. I have the output resolution set to 1080p and I'm getting a nice 60 frames per second. It runs very well and the frame rate is stable as well. Next up, Saints Row the Third Remastered. Same settings, 1080p at 60 Hz. The game runs pretty well. Some dips into the 40 FPS at times, but as an open world game it does tend to go up and down even when played on the internal screen. Now let's try one of my all-time favorite first-person shooters, Halo, the Master Chief Collection. Running the campaign on this test, and the game is absolutely rock solid, on the big screen as well as on the internal screen. If somebody would have told little me back in the early Xbox days that one day I can play Halo on the TV as well as on the go, I wouldn't have believed it. The future is now. Just for the fun of it, I'm going to test the Ethernet speeds on the Valve dock as well as on the JSAUX dock. Both docks have operating lights on the connector. The Valve dock has the port coming out the back, which makes it easier to hide cables when putting your dock on a desk. The JSAUX Ethernet port comes out of the side of the dock itself, making the wires stick out. If that should bother you, it is a plus point towards the Valve dock. I am downloading the game Resident Evil 4. Both docks give me a peak speed at 39 MB per second, and an average speed of 38.5 MB per second on a 300 megabit cable internet connection. So how do I think the Valve dock holds up to the competition, like the JSAUX dock? I definitely like that the Valve dock comes with an extra charger. I also prefer how the Ethernet port is on the back instead of the side, like the JSAUX dock does. It looks better on a desk, and it's also easier to remove the Ethernet wire when unhooking it. The JSAUX dock on the back covers the vent intake a little bit, which the Valve dock leaves completely open. And of course Valve gives you the option for an additional monitor in the form of the DisplayPort output. The Valve dock is also smaller compared to the JSAUX dock. It is actually so small that you can put it into the bottom part of the official Steam Deck carrying case. And last but not least, the option to be able to further update the physical dock's firmware is a big plus, making it future-proof. Technically, you are able to update the firmware of the JSAUX dock as well, but not directly within SteamOS, which makes it really a clunky process, and who knows how long JSAUX is going to deliver new firmware updates in the future. In the end, you got to decide how much money you want to spend on a dock, and what kind of features you are going to need. You definitely can't go wrong with the official Valve Steam Deck dock though. What about you? What dock are you going to buy for your Steam Deck? Or which one did you already buy and are you happy with it? Let me know in the comments section of this video. Thank you for watching, and if you would like to see more videos, cool tech and games, please consider liking and subscribing to this channel. Until then, enjoy gaming, and I will see you next time on Sam Dan's Couch.